Hey everyone, it's me again, Gary K, and I hope you're enjoying launch week. I hope you're enjoying the day so far. Don't forget, at the end of the day, we're going to have a great debate between the different platforms that are available for sending video, all different places. And one of those big platforms has had a big impact on our industry the last 10 years, has been what LAVNCH has done with HDBaseT. And I'm joined here live right now with Gabby Shrieky. Hey, Gabby, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Gary, for hosting me.
Thanks for being here. And look, HDBaseT has had a big impact on the market. I don't think anyone probably watching this hasn't used HDBaseT because you simplified signal routing and distribution of content, delivery, power over Ethernet, things like that in the AV world. You head up the audiovisual division of LAVNCH, and obviously you have a good handle on the market. But now HDBaseT has gone through some evolution as well. I mean, it's not where it was when it started, and now you're on sort of version 3 or spec 3.0. Talk about what spec 3.0 is and the difference between that and the previous versions of HDBaseT.
Right. HDBaseT spec 3.0 has so much new and exciting stuff for the AV market. I'll try to single out a few of those enhancements, but let's start with the fact that it's actually enhancing an existing standard, existing ecosystem, and the HDBaseT spec 3.0 is backward and forward compatible. This is very important for us and for the market and for the industry. Vendors out there developing product with generation 1 and 2 of the spec can enjoy the benefits of the 3.0 without compromising their past design products. I would say that the key enhancement with the 3.0 is the fact that we can finally deliver uncompressed 4K 60 444, so the maximum resolution allowed by HDMI 2.0 spec in an uncompressed manner over category cables for 100 meter long. This is really, actually it's the only silicon out there that can do it, the only chip, the only solution that can do it in an uncompressed manner today. All other alternatives require some sort of compression in order to reach that level of resolution.
Let me ask you about that, because do people really care about uncompressed video now that we have, because you look at these compressed solutions and they do look really good. Why should people care to actually have a completely uncompressed solution?
It's a great question, and I think that uncompressed is still very much matters for our industry, and the obvious reasons are not only for the quality of the video and the zero latency that comes with uncompressed. That's obvious, that's given.
Right. And
in some cases, the human eye cannot detect it.
Yeah.
However, the lack of compression also helps tremendously in respect to interoperability. And why is that? Let's take as an example Dolby Vision, which is a very key element, key feature nowadays together with HDR. So Dolby Vision, as opposed to HDR10, is actually delivering the extra information required to take the benefit of Dolby Vision within the frame itself. So whenever you compress, you will lose this information. So in order to overcome that, solutions that compress will have to find a way, let's call it out-of-band way to pass this information. And the way this is done is in a proprietary way. Therefore, each vendor will create his own version, his own method, and these products will not be interoperable.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. So basically, in that case, they would have to create their own encoder-decoder solution that sort of carried that information separate from the actual signal.
Maybe this is a similar reason why AV over IP is struggling to really catch up, because each of those AV over IP platforms requires different type of compression, and even if both vendors uses the same compression engine, they still do it in a proprietary way, and therefore there's no interoperability. So uncompressed still very much matters a lot. The additional benefits on spec 3.0 are the fact that now the HDBaseT port is actually bidirectional. We can, with the same product, do a transmitter and receiver with the same chip. And that is really helping a lot our vendors, our equipment vendors, who needs to design a single box rather than two. In the past, they had to do a transmitter or encoder and decoder, or transmitter and receiver. Now they can do one single box that will do both. So the ecosystem that is around us is going to enjoy a lot the fact that they can do less SKUs, more efficiency in the design. Another big benefit is the fact that the convergence of the previous interfaces like USB 2.0 is getting improved bandwidth, additional features there. The Ethernet that we're able to go on the same cable as the video now is bumped from 100 megabit per second to 1 gigabit per second. So all these conversions and maintaining interoperability with previous generations is going to be a tremendous help for the industry.
So when will integrators who are watching this start see 3.0 products debut?
By the end of this year, we'll see first products already coming out with the Spec 3.0 products.
You have a lot more competition than you did in the early days. Obviously, you were the only sort of converged solution where you could take video, audio, control, Ethernet, power, and put it on one cable and run it across standard network cable. Now you have the different AV/IP over IP solutions. Some of them are their own ecosystems like SDVoE. You have the NAV from Extron. You have the NVX from Crestron. You have other products coming, the AIMS Alliance. If you're giving me the elevator pitch as to why I should choose an HDBaseT solution versus the other AV over IP solutions, what would be sort of like your roadmap for an integrator making that decision?
Right. So integrators need always to have one thing in mind. What is the problem I'm going to solve for my customer? And if the problem is trying to solve is within the room, small scale, in-room AV connectivity, then HDBaseT is the best way to go. It is the highest quality with no compression, no latency. It is the most cost effective because everything is integrated on a single product rather than having a more complex system to do that. And there is an ecosystem of interoperable products, projectors, displays, sources with HDBaseT, and that is making a very robust, and don't forget also the cost of configuring and maintaining such a system. With HDBaseT, you have zero configuration. It's a plug and play. You have the devices powered up, you plug the cable, and that's it. No extra effort done for configuration of the network and so on. So the in-room solution is definitely solved better with HDBaseT, and I would also add with HDMI and HDBaseT together because these are the common denominators. When you look at a very wide
outside the room at a big facility,
if you have an enormous, let's say a campus level type of distribution, then you have to think of combining technologies to bring the best out of it, right? So if I'm an integrator, I would try to benefit and combine technologies to get, I call it a hybrid network. I would use HDMI when I can. I would use HDMI and HDBaseT in the room when I can. And if I need to go outside, I'll create a gateway to the IP world and then use the AV over IP solutions. Even within the AV over IP domain, there are multiple ways to go, and that also requires a lot of thinking, a lot of attention.
But you gave me a really honest response to that. I appreciate that because a lot of manufacturers, a lot of companies would say, well, we can do anything. And in a way, HDBaseT can do anything, but what you're saying is when you're doing a facility and you have to go long distances between buildings, outside of a building, then AV over IP is the way to go. But once you're inside the room, you'd like to see them continue to go HDBaseT.
Right. I think we cannot ignore also the change that the market has gone through with the proliferation of, let's call it, cloud-based video conferencing solutions. All the Zooms and the Teams and the WebEx of the world really helped a lot to bridge the gap of the distance. And therefore, I actually think that in many cases, what you once had to do with a dedicated network, either an AV over IP or an HDBaseT network, now could be done also over the web, over IP in a way, but through these collaboration platforms.
UCC platforms,
Exactly. So there's room for all technology. There's no silver bullet technology, that will solve your problems with a single technology. Impossible.
I will for those of you who are watching, actually, Gabby gave you a really big hint there. I don't know if you were paying attention, but it's clear the direction that VLANs and HDBaseT are going to move when you describe the world of how things are going to move across UCC platforms, you can always check out Valens at valens.com, VALENS.com. They're the chip company that invented HDBaseT. And of course, you can go to the HDBaseT Alliance at hdbaset.org. Gabby, I appreciate you joining me today. Gabby Shrieky, the Senior Vice President, Head of AV for Valens. And we got a lot more today, and we're going to have the debate this afternoon on which of these platforms is better. They're all going to each say they're all going to say their best. But of course, as Gabby pointed out, he's probably going to be the most honest of them. So thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a great day and continue to enjoy the rest of launch week.
Hear how our members are keeping it real with HDBaseT.
HDBaseT has really been pivotal to a lot of our video technologies. We've been in there since the very beginning. From our matrix switchers, we got card frames from 8x8 to 32x32, all utilize this technology. We have presentation switchers that are kind of all in one, encompassing from control systems to audio amplification, switching, mixing, and of course the ability to take in HDBaseT signals from transmitters and out to receivers and displays. Really a wide array of products, and we continue to invest in products that are surrounding around HDBaseT.
HDBaseT gives us an incredibly robust platform. It's a mature technology. It is very stable in hostile interference environments, and without HDBaseT, we couldn't add all the cool things we do and change the user experience. It becomes the foundation platform for us to then build all our cool stuff around.
It's a tremendous technology. We've been with them since the beginning. We have a full line of HDBaseT solutions. It is the fundamental signal transport solution for the industry when you're going beyond a certain distance.
Sending that signal through a network switch, it's not always the most ideal way to distribute video. The way that we use HDBaseT, sending an uncompressed signal, now we don't have to worry about artifacts, signal degradation, and the different things that you're going to find by maybe having a subpar network switch or not having your pipeline open or having a patch cable in, different things that can affect that signal. When you have a full run of HDBaseT working with the Cloud9, that's when you get the most optimized picture that you can for your customers.
HDBaseT continued to excel. It's kept its place as the market leader. It was so early to adopt 4K. It was so early to adopt HDMI 2. And of course, the future looks really, really bright for where that's going. And that makes it the ideal partner for us as a technology platform. We want to make sure our products are at the cutting edge of technology, but not the bleeding edge. You want to make sure you're reliable, that the technology is ready for the prime time. From one generation to the next, we release a new product, there's going to be backwards compatibility.
So the VS3000 chipset, HDBaseT 3.0, that product is there on display. That's, for us, an image quality thing. That's probably a more heavily residential product for those image quality based environments, say AVR to projector in your home cinema. We've got those commercially focused items with different connector types. So we're taking USB-C, DisplayPort, VGA, and giving it to a HDBaseT chipset to send as well as HDMI. And getting things like lots more control options built in, adding processors that will inject IR, inject RS-232, control CEC on the HDBaseT stream as well.
It's very simple to use, plug and play, and all of the transmission is uncompressed over a single cable.
So what the 3000 chip series gives us the ability to do is, for the first time, implement that transceiver capability for single SKU usage with HDBaseT. Especially with the new 3000 series, we grow it by what's unique about it, which is the ability to do uncompressed 4K 6444. But that's not even the big picture. That's just the beginning of the picture. If you really think about it, what they've achieved is 16 gigs over what is normally used for 10 gigs, which is quite impressive. But what's really good about this is, think about this where it's going to head, 4K 120, 8K. You're going to still be in a lossless compression, even at those resolutions with that type of bandwidth. Whereas other technologies are going to go into visually lossless that are using the 10 gigs or, let's say, lower, where the compression goes up even more. So you're going to see a lot of benefits from the way that they're transmitting it as you get into the higher resolutions and higher refresh rates.
Keep it real with HDBaseT. Look for the new logo.